When people think about ancient Rome, they often imagine power, armies, and emperors. But long before the modern world existed, Roman engineers were already building cities with materials so durable that parts of them still stand today. Some Roman harbors have survived nearly 2,000 years of waves and salt water. Even modern engineers still study Roman concrete, trying to understand why it lasts so long. And yet, the same civilization capable of that kind of engineering had daily customs that might seem incredibly strange today. To understand Roman life, you have to imagine walking through one of its crowded cities. Cities like Rome, Ostia, or Pompeii were dense and noisy places filled with merchants, travelers, soldiers, and workers. Instead, many lived in tall apartment buildings called insulae. These buildings could rise several stories high and were packed tightly along narrow streets. Inside, apartments were small and simple. And one thing most homes didn't have was something we consider essential today: private bathrooms. Instead, Roman cities relied heavily on public latrines. These were large communal toilets built from stone benches with rows of openings. People sat side by side, sometimes dozens at a time. Roman writers even mention people talking, joking, and discussing business while using them. Below the seats, water constantly flowed through channels connected to the sewer system. But these public toilets produced something that turned out to be unexpectedly valuable: urine. Laundry workers known as phallones collected urine in large clay jars. Urine naturally contains ammonia, which helps remove grease from fabric. By the 1st century, this trade had become profitable. So the Emperor Vespasian introduced a tax on urine collection. When people complained, a story recorded by historian Suetonius describes what happened next. Vespasian held up a coin and asked if it smelled. Then he replied with a phrase that became famous: "Money does not stink." Roman society also had strict ideas about clothing. The most iconic Roman garment was the toga. But color could matter just as much as the garment itself. The dye known as Tyrian purple came from tiny sea snails. Because it was so rare, purple became a symbol of imperial power. Only the emperor could wear a fully purple garment. Clothing could also signal whether someone was Roman or not. Romans traditionally wore tunics suited to the Mediterranean climate, but trousers were viewed very differently. Trousers, known as braccae, were worn by Gauls and Germanic tribes. Roman writers like the poet Juvenal mocked them as barbarian clothing. Yet despite these strange customs, Roman engineering remained extraordinary. Their roads and aqueducts connected cities across continents. But one invention still puzzles scientists today: Roman concrete. Unlike modern concrete, it can grow stronger when exposed to seawater, because they were using volcanic ash. The Roman Empire shaped the world in countless ways. But when we look closer at daily life inside that empire, one of history's greatest civilizations could also be surprisingly strange.